Oh, it's party time, Mom. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday. We are in the Mothership Studio 22, the Chad Prather Show. You know what I want you to do? First things first, I want you to make a note right now, a mental note. Write it down. Write it on your hand. Get it tattooed somewhere on your body that it is your responsibility every week to go to where podcasts are offered and make sure that you give us a 5-star rating. That is what we deserve, and it's what we earn every single day. And give us a good review. I don't care if you just say, I love Jason Buttrill's hair. That's all you got to do. Jason Buttrill is in the hot seat, our favorite dark web searcher.
Yes, sir. And the hair is getting there, too.
Look at you, man.
I know. It's just like growing like a weed.
Like just a year ago.
Straight bald.
You were bald. God bless keeps.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I love them. I love them. Mine's trying. Mine's trying. I'm not good. I'm not good with making sure that the regimen stays steady. You know what I mean?
That's the thing.
That's the deal. You got to keep putting that stuff on your head. So it's not my fault. Hey, listen. If so. My kids are older, right? And my kids, they're pretty headstrong. They make up their own mind on things. But I'm seeing this video of all these kids now that are having to start school back now, and their masks are on. Mm. Like, we're on the verge of war here. Like, this is, like, I saw Australia had a deal. They're going to vaccinate like 24,000 kids, and the parents aren't allowed in the building.
Yeah.
This is insanity.
It's insanity. In Australia, I was reading through their little document yesterday on what they can or can't do to their people. It was break into to houses, businesses, any kind of structure without any kind of warning or any kind of explanation. Yeah. All these different things, and I mean that's an unarmed population in action right there. This is what they can do without the threat of any kind of pushback. Yeah. But over here, it's like, why comply? Why comply? Why put that mask on your kid and let them go? I mean, it's our fault for giving into this. Period. Just
you know how like
stop.
In elementary school they'll put the kids in their little groups or whatever, and they'll say, okay, here's group 1, here's the little alpha group, and here's the blah blah blah. I was seeing this thing that says, okay, if your group does such and such amount of work in a certain period of time, and you get it done right, and you get everything finished, you get 30 minutes mask-free time. Like, seriously, schools are sending this out. Like, this is one of the things, like, they're rewarding kids by letting them breathe.
Ridiculous.
Taking the mask off.
Absolutely ridiculous.
This thing has got me so pissed off. I went to Twitter last night and I said, you're poking a bear. The elites are poking a bear. Mm-hmm. That they really know not which they poke. Yeah. Especially in America.
Yeah, I think we're hitting that tipping point, too. Yeah. You're already seeing it in places like Europe. They're starting to freak out and actually stand up to do something about it. Yeah. That used to be our calling card as Americans. When did we become the people that said, like, we used to be the rebels, like we were like, nah, screw that. We're not going to listen to anybody, blah, blah, blah. But now it's like, we're not going to listen to anybody, unless the government tells us what to do. Now we'll fall fully in line.
Yeah. I just make protest T-shirts. That's what I do. Like this one right here. Trust Dr. Seuss more. I'm about to do one, the Austin Tea Party. Or I'm going to do one around the Austin Tea Party. We've had the Boston Tea Party. It's time here in the state of Texas to have an Austin Tea Party.
Straight up, it's time.
We just dump it right there in the river. I'm so pissed off. I want to show you why I'm so fired up about this, because we're going to talk about Afghanistan. We're going to talk about some other crazy nonsense that's going on in the world. But play that Fauci TikTok, please. I just want to remind everybody of this douchebag. If you got it. Push the button.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often, there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask, and they keep touching their face.
Amazing.
Douchebag.
Amazing.
And everybody's going to defend him.
Yep.
Everybody's going to say, oh, well, Dr. Fauci said. And they're going to keep having him. He's a freaking... the biggest con man that's ever been foisted on American history right there.
Yeah, the same guy. And he's also been caught saying that he only puts the mask on now, even though he's fully vaccinated and all that, just for appearances. Yeah. Just for the appearance of it.
You know what I think? I think he said things like that, and China said, hey, we're the guys selling the masks. We're going to need you to push the masks.
Yeah.
So we're the ones making the masks, so we need you to push the
Fall back in line, do what you're told. Yeah.
It's insanity, man. Oh, we got a lot of stuff to get into. This is why I drink. Jason.
Good choice.
Look at this stuff right here. Bonner Private Wines. You've heard me talk about it. They grow these Malbecs at 9,000 feet in the air. In fact, this wine I'm holding right here in my hand from the mountains of Argentina, come from the third highest altitude vineyard on the planet. This extreme altitude Malbec, it actually makes a stronger grape. It makes a more potent grape, if you will. Gives it a thicker skin and makes it have a more flavorful wine. This red wine will actually help you digest meat better, believe it or not. And they know that because in Argentina, when they're not making wine, guess what they're doing? They're raising cattle. They understand red meat. So I want to ask you to couple this with your steak next time. You can get it at cowboywines.com. Our friends at cowboywines.com, what they've done is they have given us a great deal. They're going to give you 50% off of a case of wine. They're also going to give you 50% off the shipping. They're also under great duress down there. They're getting a lot of persecution from the corrupt government. And, of course, you got a lot of wild looters and rioters and evil hordes down there that are coming in and burning their ranches. So we don't know how long we can get this wine. Bonner Private Wines has the good stuff. You're going to get the top quality extreme altitude wine for half the price. Notes of cherry, blackberry, leather. You're going to love it. Go to cowboywines.com. Get that 50% off cowboywines.com. We'll be right back. Jason, do you love your neighbor?
No.
Do you know your neighbor?
I know my neighbor.
Yeah, well, Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And the Pope says if you're not getting the vaccine, you're not loving your neighbor. The Pope, who's a douchebag? Let's just face it. There's been popes and then there's been popes, right? And I love it when my Catholic viewers start sending us the emails and stuff. You got to admit this Pope's a douche.
You got to.
I mean, this guy, come on. Anyway, you'll get a COVID-19 vaccine, according to Pope Francis. The pontiff put out a little ad council ad. It's in Spanish. It's got English subtitles. Do we have that? Can we play it real quick?
Gracias a Dios y el trabajo de muchos.
Thanks to
Hoy
God's
tenemos
grace.
vacunas para protegernos
Work of many.
del
Now the vaccine
COVID-19.
for COVID-19.
Ellas traen esperanza para acabar
bring
con la
hope.
pandemia, pero solo si están disponibles para todos y si
it's available to
colaboramos
all.
unos con otros.
We can collaborate. He looks like a drop of sperm, doesn't he?
I don't get why he has the need to. And anytime there's a left-leaning cause in the world, the Pope always wants to weigh in on it.
He's got to weigh in on it.
Every single time.
Again, because this dude's bought and paid for. He's just like Fauci. I don't care if this pisses you off, guys. I'm telling you, these people, there's no agency at this point. There's no agency in the world that I trust anymore. I don't care if it's the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, the Catholic Church. I don't trust any of it anymore.
Yeah.
Anything that's all been part of the system. Like, I've never been one of these, like, conspiracy, New World Order kind of. I'm there now. I'm freaking there, Jason.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I've turned into Glenn Beck.
Yeah.
A skinnier, more handsome Glenn Beck.
I'm pretty much right there with you.
Skinny and handsome?
Skinny and handsome, that part. All of these people are moving towards one goal. And then the Catholic Church and the Pope, they were even involved with like Great Reset, like World Economic Forum type stuff. Yeah. So, they're all moving in lockstep. And what's funny is their credibility isn't all that great, as a governing body lately. I don't think too many of us are letting our sons be altar boys nowadays.
Not a lot of, not lined up to sign them up, are we?
No. Yeah. They're going to have to start the draft, I think, in the Catholic Church for that now.
And here come the emails. Yeah. Send them to Chris Cruz. Send them to Chris Cruz at blazesomething.com. Yeah. But it's okay, man. You're gonna Biden administration. They're about to announce the COVID-19 booster shots for all Americans, which contradicts, of course, the FDA and the CDC guidance. I've been saying this now for weeks. Just wait till the FDA approves any of these things. You just think the coercion is strong right now. The FDA approves any of these quote-unquote vaccines. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, man, here's something, and I want to say this. This is a PSA, because I learned something yesterday about this whole thing that it never occurred to me. But sad news, our course, one of our co-hosts, Hot News Natalie, who's not here today, she's been out. She's got a couple of friends who've been in the hospital, been on ventilators, fully vaccinated. Mm-hmm. One of them passed away yesterday. Apparently, he got the vaccine while he was unaware that he was positive for COVID. And apparently that exacerbated the whole situation.
Yeah.
See, you would think that you would get tested before you got the vaccine, but it didn't. That scenario never even crossed my mind.
Yeah.
So be careful, folks. I'm not telling you to get a vaccine or not get a vaccine. I'm not doing that. I don't care what you do, but when you mandate, that's the thing to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. They're treating this, with how they're rolling out vaccinations and how they're mandating everyone doing it and forcing people into it. They're acting as if this is like a virus that they can completely eradicate.
Yeah.
Which that's not how vaccines work with ear, nose, and throat viruses. It just doesn't work that way. You're never going to fully eradicate it. You saw, what was it, New Zealand this week? They had one freaking case.
Shut it down.
Are you kidding me? They went from like a level 1 lockdown to level 4 over one case.
Yeah.
That's lunacy.
Yeah. Which again goes back to what we were talking about Australia. You take away people's ability to fight back, and I mean they've militarized it. Australia, and I'm assuming New Zealand for the most part too. Australia especially. I mean they've militarized their people. They got COVID marshals out there going around. So
did you see in Scotland? I was talking about this yesterday on the News and Why, filling in for Sarah Gonzalez. That Scotland was trying to make their emergency powers now permanent.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar over there. You have to kind of justify why you're invoking emergency powers, and then it's only for a limited time. That's how it was supposed to work here. Yeah. Although I think they kind of blew past that after the 14-day, to flatten the curve thing. But now they're trying to mandate it over there. And everything, so basically, whatever they want to do, force you into quarantine, force businesses to shut down, lockdowns, blah, 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 all the stuff we've seen over the past year or so. They want that to be permanent over there. We're only, 2 to 3 years historically behind Europe?
Yeah.
If you don't think it's coming, look at New York now.
And we used to be 20 years behind Europe. That's exponentially sped up in the last 30 years. Mm-hmm. Now it's almost a matter of months to a year. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just like here in the state of Texas. Everybody's like, oh, well, Greg Abbott, the governor, who, by the way, our prayers go out to him. He tested positive for COVID. Thankfully, he's asymptomatic. See, none of that makes any sense to me either. Which do I want to talk about first? But when he unmandated Texas, he left the clause in there that he can still mandate it anytime he wants to. Yeah. So we're like, well, he unmandated Texas. Yeah, but he left this dictatorial, unilateral decision ability in that statement when he opened Texas back up, saying, we can do this again if we want.
Well, see, Governor Abbott's leaving all his doors open because he's watching, his I guess, buddy DeSantis. So he's like, what's DeSantis going to do? Maybe if he locks things down, maybe I'll do that. And then if he rescinds it, then I'll rescind it. He's playing very reactionary, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, it is. He's a sock puppet.
Yeah.
He's a windsock is what he is, like at the airport. But okay, so let's talk about that for just a second. Not him being a windsock, but how does a guy, if you're asymptomatic, you have no symptoms, you're fully vaccinated, what causes you to even take a test to find out if you're positive?
Yeah.
I don't understand any of that's going on. So, I mean, I don't want anybody sick, and nobody wants that, right? It's just weird when it starts getting politicized. And so, again, the Biden administration says, hey, everybody's gonna get a booster. And I was driving past, went to the ball game last night, went to the Rangers game. God, they suck. Went to dude, Chris, that is a monolingual team. Like, there's nobody in the lineup that doesn't just speak Spanish.
Well, we all know that a good baseball player comes from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, or Cuba.
Apparently we got the dregs.
Oh.
The Texas Rangers suck. I'm thinking of becoming a Houston fan.
Oh, God, no.
That's how bad this has gotten.
Jeez.
Anyway, how the walk-up music is, you play you want to play Another One Bites the Dust or Eye of the Tiger or some 80s shit like that I would play if I were walking up to the plate. Everything is I don't even know any of those.
Mariachi?
Yeah. Well, It's not mariachi, but it's some of that
gross
Hispanic hip-hop.
Ooh, the reggaeton?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't even know what you're saying.
Horrible.
The biggest
Can't understand a word coming out of your brown face.
The biggest baller walkout music I ever saw was Joey Gallo for the Rangers. When he first came out his rookie season, he came out to Pony by Genuine. I was like, that is ballin'. That's awesome.
Here's the Texas Rangers modus operandi in running a baseball organization is, hey, this guy has some talent. Trade his ass.
Yeah.
That's what they do. But anyway, I'm driving. We're going to the ballpark last night. Our driver was taking us. And I'm looking up, and it says, not all heroes wear capes, right? And there's all these medical professionals that are on the billboard. And I'm like, unless you work for Methodist Hospital or Baylor or one of these in Texas that are firing people because they're not getting these mandatory vaccines.
Insane.
I mean, they're quitting. I mean, these people are quitting by the thousands are getting because they know the ultimatum is coming.
Yeah.
They're starting to fire people. So this is insanity.
And Chad, going back to what you were talking about, did you see that Australia has gotten to the point where the COVID marshals are not enough? And now we got COVID helicopters. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, watch this.
Play it. The helicopter flying over the city, what are they, like crop dusting them with Moderna?
No, they're saying stay inside. Do not come outside. Stay inside.
Bro.
That's 1984.
We're
That's
in
ridiculous.
War. We're at war.
That is like,
we just don't realize it yet.
When this first happened in China, we were showing that they were doing the same thing with drones.
I saw that.
And we were like, that'll never happen in the Western world. Now see this crap.
Yeah. Because I remember I was talking to the little guy who was sweeping the street, and he's like, bang, 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 hey! He's like, get your ass inside. That's by order of the CCP. Get your ass in the house.
And if people don't believe what Jason said about New Zealand, we have the Prime Minister of New Zealand talking about you can't even go see your neighbor. Stay in your bubble.
Yeah.
Stay local and do not congregate. Don't talk to your neighbours.
Don't talk to your
Please
neighbours.
keep to your bubbles. It comes down again to those very simple principles. We know from overseas cases of the Delta variant that it can be spread by people simply walking past one another. So keep those movements outside to the bare minimum, wear a mask, and make sure you keep up that physical distancing.
Stay in your bubble.
One case.
Stay in your bubble.
One case.
People have been impregnated by walking past one another. like I'm just going to catch your effervescent presence, right? Just your atmospheric aerosolization just going to blow off on me. Stay in your bubble. Golly, dude. That's how people get AIDS. They walk past each other with their peckers out. It's insanity, dude. It makes me want to talk about the Taliban just to encourage myself.
Yeah.
It's crazy what's going on, man. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into that stuff, man. It's crazy stuff going on. Did you see the story about Megan Rapinoe, the purple-headed girl that plays soccer?
Mm-hmm.
She's they said she was bullying her teammates into kneeling during the anthem. Like, how does that bully you? I don't get it. You're a soccer player. Kick her ass. I mean, right? I mean, what? Anyway, yeah. Former U.S. goalkeeper Hope Solo opened up about the palpable internal conflict of the team during the time as a member, specifically calling out Megan Rapinoe for pressuring others to comply with their progressive activism. Yeah.
That's pretty brave. Not the Olympics are over and all that's done. Now she's coming out.
Way to wait till it's over, Hope.
Yeah, these outspoken people, like after the fact, really piss me off. Like, where the hell were you when this was, a big deal?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad they lost. Honestly, it's like when anything like woke sports, I'm over it.
Mm-hmm.
Just over it.
Dude, I boycotted the NFL last year. And I couldn't believe I did that. That was like a huge step because I love the NFL.
Yeah.
I couldn't just sit there and watch it. It was, and I think a lot of people were very similar.
So it used to be this was my favorite time of year because I knew football was coming.
Yep.
Specifically college football. I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, like at this stage in the year, I would start planning out my Saturdays, like what games were going to be, where we'd have parties for them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, not anymore.
Same.
So I'm just over all of it, man. I don't know if you guys saw it. And we're going to talk about this in the upcoming segments. I want to talk specifically about some of this stuff going on in Afghanistan. But did you see the clip of the guy who apparently got lodged in in the Afghani who got lodged in the landing gear.
Yeah.
Or he got wedged into it. His arm and his foot got caught in there.
Yep.
When it closed up, and it just beat him to death. The airspeed, the wind speed beat him to death.
Yeah.
Some reports say just tore his body in half.
Yep.
Crazy deal.
It's wild. It's the desperation of what they know they're about to face.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to talk about this later, but no real options, especially if you're deemed a collaborator over there. No options.
When you know, and you're starting to hear these horror stories that are coming out now. And our buddy, well, I can't say his name. I just know people who are dealing with. They're going in themselves to exfiltrate, to get some of these folks out. Their interpreters, their allies, folks like that. And I was also talking with a good buddy of mine, Colorado and Texas rancher Shad Sullivan, yesterday on the phone. He's at a convention talking about the beef industry and things like that. He texted me. He said, "Dude, we're about 4 months away from a major food shortage. It's getting real. I mean, and we've been warning about that, and that's why I keep reminding everybody that millions of Americans out there." Call yourself a prepper. A lot of people aren't prepared for something like that. You need to be prepared. There's a chance that the food absolutely that supply chain could break down any time, whether it's the trucking industry or just the supply, any of those things. You got to be prepared, folks. I don't want to see you standing in some government food line. You can get prepared with 3 hearty meals a day waiting for you. With a 4-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. Folks, order it now before there is a demand. Order it now. They've served millions of Americans. I love them. Great. The food's great. Actually, sometimes we just eat it because it's good. The 4-week food supply from My Patriot Supply is going to provide over 2,000 calories a day for one person. So get one for each member of your family. Go to preparewithchad.com right now. Save 25% off your 4-week emergency food kit. That will save the day if the worst happens. These days, you can't be taking these chances, folks. Go to preparewithchad.com right now. Do it. Go to preparewithchad.com. We'll be right back. I made a meme yesterday. I didn't know if anybody would get it, but it apparently they did because it was pretty popular. You know how these stores go out of business and they'll just have these vacant places, and what do they become? They become a Halloween superstore. Yeah. That's immediately they've got the orange banner out there. Yeah. So I threw one of those orange Halloween superstore Spirit Halloween banners on the White House. I wanted to put it across Joe Biden's forehead because that's vacant too.
Straight up, it's sadly true. Oh my gosh!
But Psaki's got her out of office email going, auto reply, and then Biden, who said after he's done at Camp David, apparently he's going to go to Delaware. I mean, the guy, he comes in. I mean, what's he doing?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So he said that he hasn't spoken with any world leaders regarding this debacle in Afghanistan.
Insane.
And yet Justin Trudeau said he talked to Hillary Clinton about it. Why the hell is the Prime Minister of Canada talking to Hillary Clinton?
Well, because, her track record with places like Benghazi and Libya, they did such a bang-up job there. Who would have thunk that the people that let Americans die in Benghazi
what difference at this point does it make?
Yeah, exactly. That they would do this to Americans stranded in Afghanistan. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah. I mean, this is the way I understand this thing going on, and the way I see it. And first of all, I saw the little press conference the other day where he just turned around and first, he's slurring his speech like he's had a stroke. I mean, I understand the not being able to talk like he's got dementia, but now he's talking like he's had a stroke. I don't know what the hell's going on with Joe Biden, but it's a bad deal for the globe, not just America. And then he turns and he walks off, and he's gone. He gets right back, heads back to vacation. That's a bad look, man.
Oh my gosh.
Bad look. You're going to leave 10 to 40,000 American citizens in Afghanistan. They're not unable to get out of there. You're going to leave $1 billion in weapons cache in there. 20 years in Afghanistan. You gave those folks, and people say, well, the Afghans didn't fight back. You gave them 3 weeks notice.
Yeah.
You supported them for 20 years. And then you gave them 3 weeks notice, and we're like, deuces.
Right.
We're out.
And my issue isn't really that I think the Taliban retaking Afghanistan, based off of how we did the past 20 years, their strategy was just inevitable. I think it was going to happen anyway when we pulled out.
Yeah.
Now my issue was with how they pulled out. Exactly. How they're explaining it now, and you mentioned his little conference. He just pointed fingers. First, he pointed the finger at the Trump administration. Yeah. Then he pointed the fingers at the Afghan military. Well, he can't point the fingers at the Trump administration. That was not the Trump administration's plan to pull out that way.
We don't know what the plan was.
Yeah, we don't know, but I have a pretty good source. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
At what exactly the steps were when we were going to pull out, and it was nothing like this. It was nothing like this. People have been comparing this to Saigon, Vietnam. And the pictures do look, similar. But at least then we had over a month of watching everything unfold. Mm-hmm. We had over a month. We literally had about, a week when we were like, oh my gosh, they're taking this city, they're taking this city. And then 48 hours before Kabul was completely down. This is a lot worse than Vietnam. And I will point out this too, and this is the thing now that I think if there haven't been mass resignations within the administration, I think they're going to start, because he's had his Saigon moment. Now he's about to, hopefully not, but potentially will have a Somalia Mogadishu moment. Because what they're looking at now, there is 10 to 15,000 American citizens still trapped in the country. Mm-hmm. 10 to 15,000. And so basically what Biden and, did you see, what's the National Security Advisor's name? Jake Sullivan. Did you see his press conference yesterday?
I didn't see it. I've heard about it, but I didn't see it.
So basically what he said is they don't have a plan to get them. They just sent out messages saying, yeah, go ahead and start making your way towards the airport, which they are at least a kilometer away from where they're housed from the airport, at least, maybe more. So their plan is to coordinate with the Taliban and have them let them get to the airport.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So Biden doesn't have a plan. They're relying on the Taliban's plan to save our people.
And I like, what was it? They started out one of the sentences, well, we trust that the Taliban will.
Just stop there.
Whoa.
Just stop there.
You did say what? And you see the Taliban comes out and says we're going to have a more inclusive representation. Right. We encourage you. You won't need your guns. We're protecting the citizens. We won't come after. They said this. They said we're not going to attack any innocent citizens, and we do want a more inclusive representation. That's their way of saying, hey, mouse, here's some cheese.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Isn't it interesting, though, that they know the buzzwords to kind of shine on Western media?
Them.
Yeah, we've taught them.
What was it with the trigger discipline? It said, 20 years ago, they're sitting there with their fingers on the trigger, but after 20 years of being trained by the CIA, they know how to hold a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the vast, drastic difference on the whole thing. Play that 20 years in Afghanistan.
To your question about allies, we gave 20 years of American blood, treasure, sweat, and tears in Afghanistan. We gave them every capacity in terms of training and equipment to stand up and fight for themselves. And at some point, it was the time for the United States to say that the Afghan people had to stand up for themselves. We believe that our commitments to our allies and partners are sacrosanct and always have been. We believe our commitment to Taiwan and to Israel remains as strong as it's ever been.
These people believe this crap.
Bull crap.
They believe this crap.
Yeah, and whatever he's saying, even still, I mean, you can talk through what he was saying, but that's not the issue here. Right. The issue is how you pulled out within 48 hours and stranded 10 to 15,000 American citizens.
And what's crazy is 4 weeks ago, I was on this show talking about the fact they didn't issue enough visas to get people out of there. Mm-hmm. We knew it was coming.
Yeah, they
didn't issue the visas. You issue 30,000, you needed 50,000 more. Anyway, I mean, we're talking about top security clearance people. Play that video of that vet who's rebuking the Biden administration. Got that one? Oh. This is good television.
He owned his decision. He owned the fact that, as he put it, the buck stops with him.
I hope he gets to own their deaths, too. I feel like I watched a different speech than the rest of you guys. I was appalled. There was such a profound, bold-faced lie in that speech. The idea that we planned for every contingency. I have been personally trying to tell this administration since it took office. I've been trying to tell our government for years that this was coming. We sent them plan after plan on how to evacuate these people. Nobody listened to us. They didn't plan for the evacuation of our Afghan wartime allies. They're trying to conduct it now at the 11th hour. The thing that they were most concerned about was the optics of a chaotic evacuation. Well, they got exactly what they were most concerned of by failing to do what was right when we could have done it. We had all the people and equipment in place to be able to save these people months ago, and we did nothing.
Well, okay, so we had a plan. We had it for every contingency. Bull crap. Because basically their plan was, oh crap, what did we just do? Let's call in the Marines and the 81st Airborne to try and secure and stop this calamity. That's not a plan. That's hitting the oh crap button. They didn't have a plan. If they had a plan before they did all this, they would have first gotten out American citizens, done that at the very beginning. Then taking care of our equipment, then taking care of all the other allies, the Afghans that helped us. They didn't do that. There was no plan. It was literally, oh crap, let's call in the Marines and the 81st Airborne.
Yeah.
That was it. There was no plan.
No, there's no plan. There's no easy button. None of that. Oh, I feel great today, though. I mean, I'm sorry the world's falling apart. I had a great night's sleep. I did, Jason. Seems like the world's all against us, but you got to get that good night's sleep, folks. Purple mattress. It's what I sleep on every single night. When you have a purple mattress, you can sleep cool and comfortable no matter what the world throws at you. It's because the purple mattress has the grid. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of these little sample mattresses and put them all together and have a whole other guest room right here, because this is exactly what it feels like. Unique ventilated design allows air to flow through to help you sleep cool even when it feels like 1,000 degrees outside, especially here in Texas. The grid's amazingly supportive for your back and legs while cushioning your shoulders, neck and hips. No matter how you sleep, unlike memory foam, which remembers everything, the grid immediately bounces back. So when you move and shift, guess what? Boom, it's going to stay right there with you. You don't have that stuck feeling like the memory foam. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to try Purple mattress, risk-free with free shipping and returns. Financing is available. Purple is comfort reinvented. Right now, you'll get 10% off any order of $200 or more. Go to purple.com/watchchad10 and use promo code watchchad10. That's purple.com/watchchad10. You will get $200 off any order. You will get 10% off any order of $200 or more if you use promo code watchchad10. Terms apply. We'll be right back. Did you see Nancy Pelosi? I tweeted it out. I put it on my Facebook as well. Nancy Pelosi's comment about they got to bring women to the table. You know, if they're going to be, going to be taken seriously, they got to bring women to the table. What planet does this lush live on? I mean, what is she? How out of touch with reality do you have to be? You go, Nancy. You should go negotiate with them.
I don't know. A strongly worded tweet from Nancy Pelosi might do the trick.
The trick.
Telling us like we were going to do Sharia, now we decided not to.
And they actually did come out with a statement. There was a press conference. The Taliban said women will be accepted as long as they submit to Sharia law.
So,
which
means nothing, no rights. That's what that
you got
means.
Nothing.
But they are saying that it's interesting how the Taliban is working American and Western media in Kabul, because they're not coming out and going all Allahu Akbar right off the the bat. They're giving them the little buzzwords, telling them what they want to hear. Meanwhile, if you see all the videos from Western Afghanistan, and some of the more of the remote areas where the Taliban is under full control, it is a completely different story.
It makes you realize why Muslim rock never took off as a music genre.
I know, right?
It totally bombed.
Yeah, that's
totally bombed.
It's odd.
They opened up some clubs. They even tried that. They called them Allahu Akbars. And even on ladies' nights, they still required a cover. I'm here all night, people. Now I'm going to get the Muslim emails. Don't open those. Play the CNN clip real quick about the burqas.
There's one shop that's doing pretty good business at the moment, which is not entirely surprising. This shop here which is selling burqas. Burqas are all-consuming, all-covering attire that are very common in Afghanistan. Were particularly common under the Taliban and are enjoying now something of a renaissance because as the Taliban have come back into town, more and more women are afraid to walk down the street, even wearing very conservative attire like I am wearing now. And so we actually talked to the shopkeeper a little while ago, and he told us that he's been selling a lot more burqas because people are frightened. They're coming out, they're buying them for their wives, their daughters, whoever it may be, because they feel that from now on, this is the way for women to be safe on the streets.
You never thought you'd hear the phrase renaissance of the burqa. The burqa is experiencing a renaissance.
I tell you what, though, those three dudes they just showed at that shop, they're going to be like, they're going to be making it rain with money.
Exactly.
They're in the back just like...
Exactly. Did you see? So Clarissa Ward, who has a giant set of steel balls, obviously.
Huge.
You know, you see her, there she is on August 15th, and then there she is on the 16th. When she does that, that's the clip where she says, they're chanting death to America, but they seem very friendly in a bizarre way. If you ever go back and watch that clip, and we don't have time to do it here, do you have that clip real quick? I want you to watch the guy that walks up behind her when she says this. Pay attention to this.
They're just chanting death to America, but they seem friendly at the same time. It's utterly bizarre.
Look at that. That dude's like he was sizing up a girl at the whorehouse. I mean, you don't want to laugh at this stuff, but you got to at this point because we're silly. You know, I went on a rant the other day about how we don't understand the tribalism and the way these cultures operate, and these people come on. Well, of course we understand. Shut up. You don't understand.
Who was saying they do understand?
Oh, there was some girl on there that was commenting on the video we posted talking about, you talk like nobody knows anything. We totally understand tribalism in the Middle East.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, lady, sure you do.
Okay, so the last 20 years, then, it would have worked then if you understood it.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, here's my new favorite part of the show. Make Chad feel guilty with our surprise TikTok clip. I have no idea what's coming. Play it, Chris.
Well, it finally happened. I was going down the highway and saw three cop cars pulling over one family, a minivan that had a couple of kids in it and a mom and dad. Dad was driving. They were asking Dad to get out of the car and come back to their car, and then they opened up the back of the van. I went around, got out of my car, and started filming. And as soon as I did, the cop looks at me and he goes, "Are you filming?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Ma'am, you don't need to film. We're letting this gentleman go." And I waited until they let that man get back in the car, and he went like this to me. I wasn't filming then. But this is what we have to do as white allies. When you see a black person being pulled over, stop, film. It's the only way we're going to start saving these people.
How much white guilt do you have to have? I mean, white guilt mixed with technology. Welcome to the 21st century. Give everybody a damn camera, and let's make sure that the police are being policed. And was she crying? Was she about to cry?
I think so, yeah.
Her voice broke. Her voice broke for the plight of the black man.
I'm speechless on this crap. What is it with white chicks? I love you, but what is up with all the white chicks lately? It's like they are the ones leading this charge.
They're the ones,
dude.
There's so much guilt. It's like when I was in Tulsa. I was in Tulsa last year for the Trump rally, and the Black Lives Matter deal was they were having the parade coming through the downtown area. And all the hundreds of people marching, there were 2 black people. Mm-hmm. Only 2. Mm-hmm. It's a white guilt thing, man.
Was it all white chicks and 2 black protesters?
Real ugly white chicks too. Golly, man.
Blue hair, probably.
There's a lot of that going on, but you gotta turn around. And he gave me a thumbs up because he knew the Taliban had him. The Taliban had him. He was clinging to the landing gear of that minivan. He knew his only way out was to get back in that minivan with his family. Those crazy Gestapo police officers. She did it. Thank you, Karen.
Finally happened, as she said.
It finally
That's what I was like.
happened.
You were waiting for this moment. You know, it's like
from this moment.
How long were you waiting?
Yeah, exactly. She's been running around with her damn cell phone out, waiting to validate her existence
On
for
patrol.
40 years. Yeah. Bad boys, bad boys. On this episode of Cops, Karen takes down the Precinct 4. Jeez. God, dude. What the hell's this world coming to? Maybe we do just need to kind of clean out some of the population. Maybe this is God's gift. I mean, maybe just all of this crap is just... I mean, at this stage, at the rate we're going, I'm ready to volunteer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm out. I'm out. Just put me out.
Yeah, it's like we keep on looking for intelligent life, in outer space. There's not a whole lot of that here.
There's
in this
none of
planet.
it here, bro. It's gone. I blame the 24-hour news cycle, and I blame social media. Social media has dumbed us down.
Yeah.
You remember, we used to get on the internet to escape the world, right? Now we got to go out in the world to escape the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
I looked at this. There was this graph that showed like how politically divided we are nowadays and how polarized. Everyone's off in their own little corners, And then they trace it back over the years directly to, I think it's like 2007 or whatever, the exact same years that Facebook, Twitter, all that. That was the beginning right there. That's when we stopped being able to agree with each other or talk to each other.
Dude, I went on yesterday. Of course, I get trolled like no other, right? Especially running for office. Everybody, you belong to everybody else. You can't make a joke. You can't say anything tongue-in-cheek. I went on there yesterday and said, hey, prayers for Greg Abbott. Oh, my God, people were blasting me on that. You don't mean that. So, maybe I don't. I mean, that's my smart-ass response to him, I'm like, golly, man, what the hell is going on? We live in the greatest country in human history, man. We live in the greatest country in human history. We really do. And we're effing it up.
Yeah.
Totally screwing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow night, I got the solution on this show. I got a guest that's going to be on the show tomorrow night. It's the solution. You don't want to miss Thursday night's Off the Rails episode. Jason?
Hell yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yep. I'm there.
It's going to be good. And we're not done. I got some more stuff to shock you with when we come back. Hang tight. And Kayla strikes again. Hey, we're back. Make sure you're following Jason Buttrill on Twitter at Jason Buttrill. Jason Buttrill, 2 T's, 2 L's. Go there and find him. Got some good stuff on there. I like your Twitter.
Thank you.
We should trade phone numbers sometime.
Let's do it.
Where we can actually text.
Yeah. Do we not?
We never text. We see each other. We get caught up. It'd be dangerous. Anyway, I want you to go leave a rating and review, 5-star rating and a review for the podcast, The Chad Prather Show. You can search it out where podcasts are offered, but do it over there on iTunes. We were at 102 yesterday. We dropped to 109 today. I can't be doing this stuff. Give us a review. And we got one we want to read here. Chris, got one? Pop that sucker up there. I want to read it. You never know when we're going to read one of these things up there. Quick and easy. Kim Varner. Intelligence. Chad is spot on with all he says. I love you, Kim. Marry me. It doesn't take much to flatter me, baby. Hey, go to blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. They'll give you some money off on an annual subscription to the Blaze. That way, when we're getting shut down and censored and deplatformed on YouTube and all those crazy places, you can still find all that you need at Blaze TV. Also, go to watchchad.com. That's where I am. That's where all the fun stuff is. And check out all the stuff we got going on. We got tons of appearances coming up. Going to be in Parker County tomorrow night in Weatherford, Texas, doing a little campaign event. Keynote speaker out there. You can find some information. Again, watchchad.com. We love you. God bless you. Can't wait to get off the rails tomorrow night. We're going to help a lot of people and might even bug some folks too. We'll talk to you then. Bye.